Hello, South Florida, and welcome to this edition of City Vision, your all-access pass to the initiatives, stories, and people that make up the government of the city of Miami Beach. I'm your host, Julia Yarbo. 2015 was a banner year for the city, and 2016 is sure to be much the same. I recently had a chance to sit down with our Parks and Recreation Department Director, John Rebar, for a look back at 2015 and a view ahead to 2016. Today we're coming to you from the beautiful Pine Tree Park location. It's one of the many gorgeous locations scattered throughout Miami Beach. And speaking of parks, 2015 has been a banner year for the Miami Beach Parks and Recreation Department. We're lucky enough to have joining us today the Director of the Parks and Recreation Department, John Rebar. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Julia.
Well, congratulations, I believe, are in order. Your department has had a wonderful year, a lot of new park openings, a lot of refurbishments, and some awards. Talk to me a little bit about what it means to lead the Parks and Recreation Department and the pride you feel for your team.
I'm very proud and it's very exciting. It's a very dynamic position to have. So much is going on in Miami Beach all the time, but especially, as you said, this year for Parks and Recreation, we've had several accomplishments. Expansion of programming when it comes to our special needs. We now have inclusionary aides who are able to work with those who do better with that one-on-one attention. We've renovated several parks. We did a great community build project with JetBlue, Kaboom, and the IRE Foundation, where the community came together and a lot of people from JetBlue, and they built a playground in one day at Crespi Park. It was very exciting.
Now, you've also had a number of places where you've made some upgrades, put in new equipment, new ground covering. Why is that so important for our community to see that type of work coming from Parks and Rec?
Well, like any asset, everything has a life, and we were getting to the end of the useful life of a lot of our facilities. There was a great master plan and effort that took place about 15, 20 years ago, and now it's time. And the community, it's time to put in new benches, new playgrounds, even new sod. Sod does not last forever. You need to rip it out, put new irrigation, and put some new sod in, and we're doing that across the city.
Now, let's talk a little bit about North Beach. A lot of revitalization going on in that area, and we have a number of new locations that people can come out and enjoy games, enjoy each other, and some classic domino playing. Tell me about that.
Yes, to start with the Domino Park, that was a very exciting opening, which we opened this November. It's an 18 by 18 pavilion, which is set up specifically for domino play. There are 4 tables that can accommodate 16 players at one time, and it's shaded and it offers nighttime security. We can roll it down. We're really excited to take some of our indoor domino tournaments outdoors, as well as open it up for people just to show up and play.
Well, considering that some of the people came out and play, we're going to let you take a look and listen to some of the very first players at the Domino Park on opening day.
Estoy ocioso de ver un campeonato entre localidades, por ejemplo, la Pequeña Habana con Miami Beach con Hialeah. Estoy desesperado, ¿por qué? Porque ahí el entusiasmo va a ser más grande para el dominó. Yo entiendo que si haya una confrontación de municipio o estado, nosotros nos vamos a sentir mucho mejor todavía. ¿Por qué? Porque tenemos el aliciente de ganar. Y eso nos estimula mucho a los seres humanos.
Well, everybody had a great time out at the Domino Pavilion in North Beach, and also we have a lot of programs for adults and seniors that are taking place in North Beach. Why do we focus so much on that, and what's the importance of making sure that we include all of our community?
Well, our Parks and Recreation Department, we are committed to providing recreational programs and facilities for all ages and abilities. And our senior program is no exception. We have over 900 registered seniors in our Senior Scene program. And as many know, the city just opened up the new Unidad Senior Building, and we partnered with them. So the North Shore Park Youth Center Senior Scenes program has partnered with Unidad. So a lot of our programs now are taking place in that beautiful new building, and our staff supports those programs. And there are some programs that stay at the youth center like ceramics, because we have the pottery room and the kiln. So the senior program is expanding drastically, and they love our holiday events and our special events. We had over 700 seniors come to the convention center for the holiday dinner and entertainment at night.
Well, I will tell you that we spent a little bit of time at the Unidad Center for some of the exercise programs, and if you haven't checked out the yoga and the Tai Chi, it is an excellent opportunity to not only see what Parks and Recreation is doing, but how nimble and fit some of our seniors are. Take a look.
I don't know what it is about Tai Chi, but it's the best thing in the world for people my age, 65 and up.
Several months ago, Miami Beach resident Joanne Minson began taking Tai Chi and yoga classes offered by the Miami Beach Parks and Recreation Center. This senior citizen says she was having health problems, difficulty breathing. Since starting this exercise, Minson says she feels like a new person.
Tai Chi has really opened up my mind. My digestive system is better. Everything I do, I'm eating better, and I'm sleeping better. Before I would toss and turn all night long, but now I don't do that anymore, and I lost at least 20 pounds doing the Tai Chi because I could exercise better. I meditate better. Tai Chi is very good it's good for the muscles, to take away all the stiffness and everything out of your body and just clear your mind.
Minson's improvements, say medical experts, are no surprise. The physical exercise of Tai Chi, say doctors, is one key to helping senior citizens not only maintain physical health, but also potentially stave off the effects of memory loss associated with Alzheimer's disease. Tai Chi is part of an extensive array of programs offered to senior citizens, including bingo, chair aerobics, and yoga. There are currently over 600 Miami Beach seniors registered for the weekly Tai Chi class. Student Barbara Gallo says before Tai Chi, she was battling a host of health issues, including anxiety and skin rashes.
I can breathe better, I can walk better, my hives are gone. It's stress-free because you take everything out of your mind.
What is Tai Chi? It is a type of martial art utilizing slow, fluid movements known to be safe for people of all ages. Because it does not put too much stress on the muscles and joints, it is often considered a safe form of exercise for seniors. Tai Chi is also associated with helping to alleviate stress and anxiety. How beneficial can Tai Chi be for senior citizens? We asked Dr. Ranjan Dwara, a neurologist and medical director of the Mount Sinai Ween Center for Alzheimer's Disease and Memory Disorders.
There have been several studies that have been done to look at the effects of Tai Chi on brain function. They include Alzheimer's disease, they include Parkinson's disease, depression. Overall fitness, of course, is considerably improved with Tai Chi. Controlled trials of Tai Chi have shown that there's a reduced incidence of depression. There is a reduced incidence of falls, particularly in people who have the early stages of Alzheimer's disease. It seems to delay the onset of Alzheimer's disease.
And of course, Parks and Recreation focuses on individuals of all ages. And this summer, we had another successful playground review program, which I know parents love that because they get to see all of their children. But this really does highlight the talent that we have of our youth here in the community and the fact that we foster that, correct?
It certainly does. And Playground Review certainly is the highlight of the end of the summer. We have over 1,400 children who participate in our traditional summer camp program and another 1,200 who participate in our many specialty camps. And this year's Playground Review was even more special because we tied it in with the City Centennial, and the groups we went decade by decade, and they did different entertaining numbers, as well as there was historical facts throughout the program, teaching children about the 100 years of Miami Beach.
What do you think this says about the dedication of your staff in terms of working with so many youngsters to make sure that they understand the city and have something to carry forward?
I'm very fortunate to have such a dedicated team and a staff. They really do love what they do, and especially those who work with children. You know, they come every day ready to have fun, ready to be mentors, and to work and play with the children every day.
So we've had also a number of awards this year, I understand, and a Playful City, right?
Yes.
What exactly does that mean? Does that mean we're all out frolicking in the water, or is it something more than that?
Playful City is a designation that cities could apply for, very much like Tree City USA, and it's sponsored by Kaboom. And you apply for that, and if you meet the criteria that you show that you have a commitment to play, they will give you the designation of Playful City USA, and we're very proud that this year we were designated Playful City.
So, again, a wonderful year in 2015, and congratulations for that. What types of programs or scenes and initiatives can we look forward to for 2016?
2016 will be just as busy or busier than 2015. We have many programs rolling out. You know, some, just like any type of entertainment, some programs get stale and, you know, enrollment goes down. So we're always looking to introduce new and exciting programs. We want to expand our special needs offerings. We want to do some ADA accessible programs maybe on the beach. And expand our sports. We're hiring an athletic manager to maybe take our sports program to another level. And when it comes to improvements, it's going to be a really big year because North Shore Open Space Park is getting master planned. Alto Stomar, which is another beachfront park, is getting master planned right now. We're planning for the large community park that will sit behind the Scott Rakow Youth Center, as well as all those refurbishments that I spoke of earlier: benches, playgrounds, trash cans, sod, things like that.
You're a busy man, and your department is on top of things.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Our Parks and Recreation Department Director, John Rebar, thanks for joining us. And we are going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to hear a little bit more about some of the great plans and initiatives that have taken place in 2015 from our City Manager, Jimmy Morales. Stay with us. Joining us now is City Manager Jimmy Morales. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So we have had an extremely busy and exciting 2015. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I think some of our biggest initiatives cover everything from transportation to construction to arts and culture. Let's talk a little bit about what you feel are some of the main successes of 2015.
Well, number one, obviously, we've continued our work on our stormwater project. We continue to be and probably are growing in terms of our stature of being ground zero for climate change or global warming, whatever you want to call it, but certainly sea level rise. And we have continued our major projects. The Alton Road project, in fact, finished. And during high tides, it has remained dry. The work we've done on West Avenue, Sunset Harbor. And then we've expanded it to a couple other areas and are initiating in other neighborhoods. So that work is ongoing, and we're learning in the process. The work we're doing now is probably more advanced and sophisticated than when we started because we're encountering issues, whether they be environmental issues, whether they be geologic issues, soil, subsurface. We're learning a lot in the process, and we'll continue to do so.
Okay, perfect.
Giving of their time and energy to make sure their community remains clean, safe, and environmentally friendly, that was the driving force behind dozens of volunteers of all ages coming out for the Miami Beach Family Service Day presented by the Office of Housing and Community Services. Armed with gloves, shovels, garbage bags, and a spirit of giving, community members tackled a host of projects in and around North Shore Open Space Park.
We've got over 250 volunteers here that registered ahead of time to come out and participate. The point of the event is to get families and kids and the community excited, get them galvanized about volunteering, let them know that it feels good to give back. At the same time, we have this beautiful service fair going on.
Here at North Shore Open Space Park, tasks of the day include removal of non-native and invasive species of plants. Tough work, but necessary.
Ebola plant that has really overtaken a lot of our dunes that you see behind us, that's not native to this area. And if we didn't remove it, then our beaches would disappear. So it's really important. The work that the volunteers are doing today is so important to keep our beaches pristine. So we want to show the community members that you can give back, but you can also learn something while you're here as well.
And one of the words that we've heard a lot throughout this past year is resiliency. And we have some new team members on board that are focused specifically on broadening the education in that resiliency area.
Well, exactly. This year we decided that while we've done it and we'll continue to do a lot on the engineering side, the public works side, we really needed to begin to focus on how we educate our community, how we begin to make ourselves more resilient and sustainable, looking at everything from our building codes, our land use codes, how we procure things, our landscaping, etc. And I was fortunate enough to lure away from Fort Lauderdale Susie Toriente to be our Chief Resiliency Officer. She's got a tremendous background in it. She was one of the founders while at Fort Lauderdale of the Four-County Compact on climate change and the impact. So she brings that perspective. And as part of her role, she also oversees building, planning, code, and those areas that impact that.
One of the main out-the-gate projects for the Assistant City Manager, Susie Toriente, was to take part in the Climate Compact. And we actually caught up with Susie shortly before she was heading off to that conference. So let's take a look at some of the items that she had to talk about.
The city of Miami Beach is clearly a leader. It's aggressive the way that these issues are being addressed at the political level, the resident level, and at the staff level. And so I think that I bring a little something to the table.
That little something Miami Beach Assistant City Manager Suzanne Torriente brings to the table is experience in environmental sustainability, mitigation strategy, and how local governments must adapt to the realities of a changing climate. For Miami Beach, that of course means sea level rise.
This is going to change how we operate local government from all perspective.
Torriente is just one of many local leaders attending the 7th annual Southeast Florida Climate Compact taking place in Key West. The compact is a partnership between Miami-Dade, Broward, Monroe, and Palm Beach counties to create regional climate governance. In other words, a united front for policy and agenda for climate-related issues. During this year's event, Torriente will also be on the world stage thanks to her involvement with ICMA, the International City County Management Association, and its program, which helped leaders of Durban, South Africa, create a compact for that region modeled after the Southeast Florida version. Durban is also a coastal community facing many of the same issues of climate change, sea level rise, and flooding as South Florida. Saturday, December 5th, Torriente will join South African leaders of the Durban Adaptation Charter, the DAC, for a live webcast. It's a side program to the COP21, the Paris Climate Conference in France.
So on Saturday morning, I will be Skyping in, and I'll be in a panel discussion with the mayor of Durban, with Durban city staff, and officials from ICMA, and talking about the program and how the program came together and how South Florida and Durban, South Africa are now connected.
Torriente says she is proud to represent Miami Beach regarding climate issues locally and internationally. She says worldwide awareness is a plus, but believes it is on the local level in which the most education and change can take place, and that Miami Beach is leading the way.
Cities are the front lines when you're dealing with climate change. You're going to hear a lot this week about all these talks and about what the nations are doing. But at the end of the day, climate change is a local government issue. When it floods, when it rains, when things happen, they call City Hall. And so cities are the one that in the absence of the state, in the absence of the feds, we've been dealing with this issue, and we're going to continue dealing with this issue.
And from resiliency to construction and moving forward into a new era. Finally, those are the words we heard a lot this year, that reality is upon us with the new Miami Beach Convention Center project. Are you excited that this is moving forward?
Very, very excited. 20 years ago, I remember people talking about a convention center renovation, expansion, and 20 years later, we're finally doing it. This year, we moved that ball rapidly. Not only did we select the contractor, it's been designed. Contractor has signed their GMP, what's called their Guaranteed Maximum Price contract. We went to Wall Street and issued $635 million worth of bonds, very successfully at very good rates, massively oversold. And in fact, we've already broken ground. So it is happening. It's a reality. Folks who would say, well, if it happens, if, no more if. It is happening. And our goal is in 2.5 years to sort of cut the ribbon on this gorgeous new expanded and renovated building into a regional asset. It's not just, it's a Miami Beach building, but it really is the regional convention center for Miami-Dade County and the link to the airport. This is one of the most important projects in South Florida today. As someone who was born and raised here, to hopefully leave this legacy to the community of the kind of infrastructure we need to be competitive for conventions and trade groups and meeting groups for decades to come.
One of the other topics that we hear so much about, and I know there's a lot of talk and vision to make Miami Beach top class in that area, is transportation. We have a lot of different initiatives and a transportation director who's leading the way. Let's talk a little bit about what we can expect as we move forward so that we have state-of-the-art technology to make motorists happy, pedestrians happy, cyclists happy.
Well, when I started here a little over 2.5 years ago, we had no transportation department. We had Jose Gonzalez, who is our transportation director now, was an employee in the public works department who spent some time on transportation issues. But early on, I recognized this had to be something we did full time, and that department has now grown. And what we've done in the process is, among other things, a year ago or so, we launched the North Beach Trolley to tremendous success in ridership. This year, the commission approved, and we're in the process of rolling out a mid-beach trolley and what we call a Collins Connector. That, in fact, will be coming online either late spring, early summer. Really, end of year exciting news is the City Commission has directed us to go start the process to have a streetcar, to actually have a rail, at-grade rail system that will operate in South Beach, probably a loop that includes 5th and Washington and 17th and Alton. We're working on trying to create intelligent transportation systems with, synchronized lights and cameras on poles. We're doing all that, and we're working closely with the county on a lot of those issues.
But on some of the more arts and culture aspects, we have a number of programs that we've spearheaded to really pull the community together, one of which a very successful launch of the One Book, One City program. Tell me about the success of that. Just right out the gate, everybody loved that.
Well, with the centennial, and the past year being of the centennial of the city, we decided that we were trying to think of interesting ways beyond just concerts and a party or something to involve the community. And just coincidentally, someone I actually knew growing up, Thane Rosenbaum, had written a book. He grew up, born and raised here, and he had written a book recently, How Sweet It Is, about the 60s and 70s. In Miami Beach, the area we grew up in, and he approached us about he'd love to get involved, be involved. How could we do something? Maybe have a reading, and then actually Max Sklar, who oversees our tourism and cultural department, said, we've been thinking of rolling out this one, book concept. Maybe this is how we start.
Bringing people together around a book for them to discuss, especially a book, I guess, like this, which is about this. It's about this city, and it's about a time in this history of the city, is a great way to reminisce. It's a great way to learn about a city, and it's a great way to learn about, what it was like to live in a certain time and place.
We've seen you at so many ribbon cuttings this year and openings, one of which I think was one of the funnest was the Domino Pavilion. What does this mean for North Beach? What does this mean for our community to have a location like that?
Well, North Beach is an area that for a long time felt unloved. They weren't getting enough TLC, and frankly, the reality probably matched the perception of the community. We have tried over the last 2.5 years, and since I grew up there, I've tried since I started here to change that. It started with the fountain that we redid 2 years ago in the heart of Normandy Isle. But we'll continue to look at ways through our investment to create infrastructure, to create programming. And Domino Park came up because it's right next to the senior center up there, the Unidad Senior Center, and also it's right on the beach. And there's a large, not only elderly community, Hispanic community and Caribbean community that, playing dominoes. My own background, grew up playing dominoes. And when we did the ribbon cutting, we actually coordinated it by having a little tournament.
What are your aspirations, vision, goal for the new year for Miami Beach?
Well, number one, part of it is staying the course. I mean, there's a lot we've started, and it's getting that stuff done. Some things that'll be finished in 2016, like the new trolley systems in Mid-Beach and the connector, and others that are just going to have to continue through, like all the work in the convention center. But we're gonna. I know we've already got some new challenges that we've been asked to look at. Quality of life issues, making sure our street lighting across the city. In this past budget we put additional money, close to $1 million for street lighting because there's a lot of old infrastructure in this city we need to address. Cleanliness issues are always critical. When you get 10 million visitors a year, how do we keep the cleanliness and look of the city? We're going to continue to focus on that this year. I think North Beach, we're going to look at what more we can do up there in terms of different types of infrastructure, programming, servicing. That's a high priority. There's so much to do, but we're excited. One of the things I'm most proud of is the quality of people we've been able to attract and retain and motivate. And so hopefully 2016 we'll see more and more of that.
And that's going to do it for this edition of City Vision. We leave you now with a look inside the Miami Beach Convention Center as crews are hard at work to make way for the new Miami Beach Convention Center. Much more ahead in 2016.